Mr. David Gibbs, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the distinguished members of this council. As I stated earlier, I have the privilege of representing the Imperial Valley Coalition for Life. That is a group of 70 churches, nonprofit organizations, and businesses, as well as the 2,500 people that have signed the petition. And we are here with great concern over what happened last Tuesday. I was one of the few people that was allowed into the room, and for most of you that were not there, you need to be aware there were 2,000 citizens outside. And they were very concerned what was happening, and they were where they couldn't hear. I think it should have been held over here. There was even maybe some direction to the board that I think was just ignored to make the people not be able to participate. The people feel very lied to. They were told no decisions would be made. There was nothing put on the agenda. It borders, honestly, on fraud with what occurred at that meeting on Tuesday. We speak to the board. We present over 60 pages of information. Information, by the way, outlining a litany of financial, medical, and other fraudulent practices of Planned Parenthood, concerns with what's happening with this clinic, the impact it would have. We are told that there has been no impact study done. As nonsensical as it would seem to the citizens of this community, a church to put a sidewalk in needs an impact study. But we will allow $50 million in bonds to be issued to a hospital that's just going to hand a transfer agreement to an organization that uses non-doctors to do these procedures to maximize profits. All of these fiduciary obligations were laid out in great detail to the board. We represented to them that they had the authority. There was a lot of misinformation. Again, I think council was giving them poor advice. A lot of misinformation that they didn't have the authority to act. We explained that they did. We explained the fiduciary concerns. We talked about the fact that Planned Parenthood doesn't come to towns of 40,000. That this is really an opportunity to service Mexicali, where abortion is illegal, and we're going to be flooded. They will pay cash, or interestingly, Planned Parenthood can get federal money, so tax dollars can go to them. But then the hospital gets no money when the emergencies, the botched abortions, the brain-injured babies, the women in cardiac or respiratory distress are shipped over. You're already $25 million in the hole, I understand, last year. And we're issuing bonds, and there's no impact study done whatsoever. And we explained to the board that they needed to read the information, take the time, exercise due diligence, exercise care. We then said that we're not making any threats, and we're not aware that Planned Parenthood's making any threats, but if you're scared of getting sued, we will come represent and defend you for free. We explained that the law was on their side, that they had every right to do it, and they had free legal counsel to defend them. There were no questions, and we were thanked, and we were basically told to go home because no action was going to be taken. The crowd dispersed, thousands of people outside. They were praying. They were excited that the hospital board had time to exercise their fiduciary obligations and actually read the documents. This is where the story turns somewhat sinister, maybe even a little confusing, but very, very dangerous when you look at the Brown Act here in the state of California. In an executive session that I believe was fraudulently noticed, under a prospective litigation that nobody knows anything about. I mean, Planned Parenthood isn't saying they were threatening to sue. We're not saying we were threatening to sue. Legal counsel proceeds to tell the hospital board members, now we need to understand these are volunteers in the community. They don't get paid for this. Your city legal counsel instructs them that if they don't do this, they could be sued personally and that their personal assets are at risk. Now, number one, that is malpractice. Okay, that is a flat lie. That is bullying. Your city attorney needs to get her paycheck from Planned Parenthood because she's working for them. By the way, California law, she's representing the city. For her to give personal, individual legal advice is an absolute conflict of interest. It's shocking that we would bully and beat down with a city employee volunteers that are serving at your pleasure over at the hospital. All the information that was provided, guess what? We don't even read it. No response, no information, no due diligence, no impact study, no financial review. Oh, quick, give us another $50 million so we can fix up the buildings, but we're just going to do this stuff without even counting the cost. Then a memo is handed out that nobody also has time to read, but it's collected up. We still haven't seen it. And all of this is done in the secret session that was absolutely illegal. The Brown Act, in its introductory language, speaks very clearly. It says the California legislature finds and declares that the public commissions, boards, and councils, and the other public agencies in this state exist to aid in the conduct of the people's business. It's the intent of the law that their actions be taken openly and that their deliberations be conducted openly. The people of this state do not yield their sovereignty to the agencies which serve them. The people in delegating authority do not give their public servants the right to decide what is good for the people to know and what is not good for them to know. The people insist on remaining informed so that they may retain control over the instruments they have created. What occurred last Tuesday was illegal. What occurred last Tuesday was fraudulent. What occurred last Tuesday is void as a matter of law. You, as the city council, have a duty to oversee that board and to oversee your attorney and make sure that proper legal action is done. Then we show up tonight with 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 people. I don't know how many are outside, a good number. And again, more sessions, more litigation. I don't know of any litigation. If you can show me a lawsuit, I'd love to see it. None exists. If Planned Parenthood's threatening litigation, they're at least at this point denying it. We haven't threatened litigation. So we keep hiding behind prospective litigation to go into closed-door meetings, and we say to these 5,000 people outside, your voice, your opinion doesn't matter. Tonight, they are coming to you, and they are asking for you to take action. You have the authority. You created the board. You own the hospital. You had to approve the $50 million in bonds. It's laughable to sit here and say, oh, we have to have a double vote to approve $50 million in bonds, but we're not going to exercise any authority over something that is impacting in person better than 10% of your community showing up. People are very, very concerned. Number one, I would certainly recommend that your attorney be censored or even fired for her actions. I think this is illegal. I think she should be removed from all further deliberations on this matter. An independent legal counsel needs to be appointed for this board to be accurately. And by the way, if that gentleman makes any additional threats, I would ask law enforcement to remove him. When he... It was very troubling when he threatened the life of Pastor Colas, and I've been very concerned about his mental stability the whole evening. I would recommend number two, and you've heard this before, that this board act and in 2 weeks cancel the agreement. You have the authority. And you don't have to permanently cancel it, but at least do your due diligence. At least require what you require of the churches and let Planned Parenthood present an impact study, show the cost. You lost $25 million last year. You have a hospital you've been trying to sell, nobody wants, and we're just making it fiscally less responsible. And so at this point, I would encourage you to study the numbers and look at it. And then number three, I do think your board needs to replace your hospital board, or you can dissolve it. It exists. It's a creature of your pleasure. You created it. Now, I do want to point out one additional thing, because I've heard, and I believe council stated, we just kind of hand out these transfer agreements. Totally different when real doctors with low-risk procedures have a transfer agreement with the hospital. somebody that's doing skin cutting, and it's a real doctor, very low risk, and they would get a transfer agreement, but those are still evaluated. Planned Parenthood has non-doctors doing these procedures with high-risk procedures and great risk to the hospital. One lawsuit in California, botched abortion, $2 million. A great liability, tons of financial fraud. We laid all this information out to the hospital board. But remember, they didn't even take the time to read it. How can that be exercising due diligence when the information is brought to you, it's explained, it's laid out, and it's never responded to? The meeting was illegal last week. I would encourage this board to recognize it as void. I believe there is some argument, and it could certainly be litigated, that the transfer agreement is illegal, the way it was done. A 3-3 vote does not authorize anything, and staff delegated it to the board. Last time I talked, if this council deadlocks, no action's taken. It doesn't at that point proceed forward until there is a majority of some sort. I do appreciate your grace in allowing me to speak. You've been generous with the time. I am an attorney. I do represent a number of people here in the Valley, and I would make myself available to you for any questions on the legal issues, if you have any. But I am very, very disturbed, and we have put in public information requests asking for all of the emails, all of the communication, because I do believe the actions of your city attorney have been in the interest of Planned Parenthood, not in the interest of the city she's hired to serve, and certainly not in the interest of the public.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, Edward Horning, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
He already spoke. That was spoken.
So I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I think at this point in time, it is important for a council member or someone to speak to the allegations made by Mr. Gibbs and our city attorney. It is one thing for you to challenge those of us who are elected officials, but I think it was inappropriate to come in and do the negative review of our city attorney. If you have an issue with her, then you should have talked to us and not come out in public and do this. I think that was inappropriate. I value and appreciate your legal standing, but I think for you to come here and do that was a very inappropriate behavior.
And Councilmember Sanders, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree. When you have 2,000 people show up at a meeting and they are lied to at the direction of that staff member, I believe they are to be held accountable for their actions. That is the public right. And I think we did meet with her privately before. She had the materials. She chose not to read them. She chose not to respond to them. We were in the office with the mayor. He graciously met with us, had her there. So she had full access to all the information to ask all the questions. And I believe that she knew better than to do this illegal meeting. And I believe the press is here, television's here, and accountability needs to be had under the Brown Act. And I think sweep that under the rug is a disaster.
I appreciate your comments. Ms. Becker, our city attorney, is hired by the city council to represent the council. You're correct in that point. The legal opinions that were rendered was done independent of Ms. Becker. It was done by the hospital's legal counsel. That's Ms. Belfour. So I don't know if you had a chance to meet with her. And to suggest that the trustees did not read it, I cannot speak for all of them. You are correct. You brought reams of paper, and you brought disc. And yes, I went through that. I went through that because I took very seriously all of the comments that you had said to me over the phone when I spoke with you and Mr. Colas in a conference call. I took that seriously. And when you said to me what I thought was, what are you going to be doing? And I said to you, I am not yet quite sure, but I still think it is inappropriate behavior for one attorney to come to an open setting and mean-mouth another attorney.
Well, let me say this, and I will just say this, and in no way am I intending to be mean. And I think professionally speaking, when an attorney commits malpractice and bullies volunteer board members and harasses them in this way and gets paid by the city to do it, I believe that is absolutely inappropriate, and it's unconscionable to me that you're not shocked and immediately demanding an investigation
Well-
and removing her from her position.
I think this attorney that you referenced and pointed out is employed by the city. The attorney that you apparently seem to be speaking about is not present. She is hired by the Board of Trustees. That's Ms. Belfour. If you wish to come to the next meeting and say something, but I still think no one on this council has said anything, in my view, that was disrespectful to any member of this audience. When a member of this audience became disruptive, we asked him to be escorted out.
Yes, he was
So
making death
yes,
threats. That's
and
correct.
yes, he was disrespectful. But when you're asking us to charge our city attorney with malpractice, to indicate that she should be fired, I think that's over the line.
Well, and I certainly respect your opinion, but I would point out that she was in all those meetings, she's orchestrated all these meetings, and candidly, you can hide behind lawyers. I am one. I know the game. But the reality is the people are here, and they want their elected council members to speak up. Now, you've already voted once in favor of the transfer agreement. Okay, you were one of the members that was on that board. But the bottom line is the people have the right to know where everybody else stands, and then they have the right to go to the ballot box and decide who they want to support as their city council. And to do in secret sessions in violation of the Brown Act, I believe is reprehensible and violates not just the spirit, but the clear writing of the Brown Act.
Sir, you're standing here before us now. This is a very open dialogue that's taking place with those that can make it into the room as well as those who are outside. You also made reference to why the members of the Board of Trustees did not choose to meet here. An offer was made that they could come here.
And they
chose-
should have.
Well, that may be, but they made a choice, and they chose to meet in their venue, which is over at the hospital site.
And please understand, Councilmember, I realize you're advocating on behalf of your position, and I want to be respectful, but you do realize this is public comment.
Yes.
We have shown up on our own initiative. There's no agenda item. You guys have already had meetings. You've been meeting all day without any debate, without any public input. The decisions were long made. I mean, we heard a quick little reading at the beginning, a motion's made, a second's withdrawn. We heard all of this that's going on, again, behind closed doors, under a fake non-litigation threat. There is no litigation. So for you to violate the sunshine required on open government under the Brown Act, I believe is inappropriate, and I stand by that very strongly. And I think these people want to know where everybody on this council stands
Well-
on this issue, and quit hiding behind lawyers, quit hiding behind technicalities, quit hiding behind charters, quit hiding behind little things, and speak up and say, you know what, I support it, and here's why. Then they can decide what they want to do.
Then let me share with you, as I understand the Brown Act, closed session is provided for several reasons,
That's correct.
one of which is potential litigation. Potential litigation.
And what was the potential
the-
litigation?
You're talking about for the city council or for the Board of Trustees?
Either one.
All right, let's go with the Board of Trustees.
Mr. Mayor, is
Mr. Mayor,
Ms. Sanders providing a legal opinion?
Well, I'm more concerned
Yeah.
that perhaps we start disclosing things that should not be disclosed. I would
Well,
rather
that is the
we-
problem, though.
No.
People don't know what's going on.
No, Mr. Gibbs, you're very eloquent. I struggle, though. I'm married to an attorney, the finest attorney on the planet. But you've made some really inaccurate statements, and I think that it's unfortunate. The hospital didn't lose $28 million last year. If the hospital lost $28 million last year, there's no way we would have ever found somebody to fund that bond issue. There are issues with regard to, or there are situations under the Brown Act where a body can meet in public or in private. They're spelled out. There's reasons there. There's public policy reasons why a council, why an elected body is allowed to meet. for anticipated litigation, real estate negotiations, personnel issues. There are any number of excluded reasons why.
Understood.
Okay, but you didn't cover that. And the other thing that,
You wanna say
excuse
one
me,
more?
I just want to make
Please.
one third point.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how you, in good faith, can stand there and say that there is no threat of litigation. You've already accused the hospital board of fraudulent behavior, of illegal behavior, and unless you have spoken with every single person representing Planned Parenthood, you are not in a position to know whether or not the city is in fact being threatened with litigation
Well, and-
from Planned
Let
Parenthood.
me
You
put
don't
on-
know,
All right, but let me tell you what I do know. It hasn't been publicly disclosed.
and it
Tell
doesn't
us-
have to be.
Well,
That's why they use the word anticipated litigation.
Doesn't have to be.
If there's active litigation, you'll see it on our agenda. You'll see the case name, you'll see the court number. If it's anticipated litigation,
well, here's the bottom line then. If Planned
Okay.
Parenthood is threatening litigation,
okay?
it's a non-meritorious lawsuit. They're bullying you into taking action. And so basically, they said, we'll sue you if you don't give us what we want, and you went ahead and did it. And that's what the hospital board did that we believe is very, very troubling. And the lack of information to the public. You're right, there are some things we don't know. And by the way, $25 million is the amount I was told the hospital lost. I hope you didn't lose that much, okay? I mean, I would be thrilled if you made money. But
The
the bottom,
hospital is operating at a profit. What you may be confused about is the amount of indigent care that this hospital provides.
and would it be in the 25 million range?
Probably.
That's what I've been told.
You know why? Because we have a community that requires care that can't afford it,
I
right?
understand. And if we bring all the abortions from Mexicali here, we're only going to swell that number.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Okay, Luli Ramirez, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gibbs.
I want to pass and give my 3 minutes to my husband, if that's possible.
Sure, thank you.
On a more positive note, que viva Cristo Rey! Que viva Cristo Rey! Que viva Cristo Rey! Good evening. Mayor Efrain Silva, all the members of the council, and all the audience. My name is Danny Ramirez. I am a Culture of Life coordinator for the Diocese of San Diego in Calexico. Tonight, I wish to inform you about a serious danger which will occur to pedestrians and cars and trucks if you allow a Planned Parenthood abortion center to open on State Highway 86, which is 4th Street in El Centro. It is expected that there will be frequent legal demonstrations, as you can well see right outside, in the hundreds, if not in the thousands. At the sidewalk at this site, if the Planned Parenthood abortion center is allowed to open there, especially since Planned Parenthood asserts its legal right to perform abortions without even parental notification on girls as young as 12 years old or younger. 11. 12 años de edad o hasta de 11 años de edad van a recibir abortos. Many Imperial County citizens, parents, and grandparents are adamantly opposed to such a Planned Parenthood abortion center being located in El Centro, and prolonged and frequent picketing by citizens of all ages, from parents pushing babysitters to elderly grandparents like me. This is sure to cause a very dangerous situation along 4th Street. Cars, even large 18-wheelers, will be passing by at 40 miles per hour, with some going well over this legal limit. Only 2 feet from the curb, passing by picketers of all ages on this very narrow sidewalk. Even a slight inattention on the part of a demonstrator or a young child, or the distraction of a driver speeding by on Highway 86, or a vehicle accident could have fatal and tragic consequences to several people in one split second. Drivers are likely to be distracted and emotionally disturbed by seeing many people on the sidewalk, some of them carrying large signs with emotionally charged messages and with large graphic pictures of the bloody victims of abortion. Now, with your permission, I ask to have your discretion because I want to show you, okay, a graphic picture. Parents, tell your children to close their eyes. Board, unveil the results of a beheaded. Here, to put it up high. Okay, there you go. That's a 23-week-old baby girl, and her head's being held by forceps. And you think about the 10 to 20 terrorists Americans have been killed by the terrorists? These are thousands of our own terrorists, Planned Parenthood, that does this every day. Right here. You can put it away. Drivers are likely to be distracted. I said that already, but they will be distracted. In conclusion, if you decide to allow the Planned Parenthood Abortion Center to kill prenatal babies at this location, you must bear the responsibility, starting with you, Efrain, Mayor, Jason, Sedelia, Alex, and Cheryl, for the danger will create to Imperial Valley residents and to their children. This responsibility is over and above the responsibility of allowing the Planned Parenthood Abortion Center to locate in El Centro, with the full knowledge that they intend to kill large numbers of prenatal babies and cause injury or death to their mothers and their future children. Now we'll show you a sign showing how many women have been killed by legal abortion. You can look at it, it's not graphic, Efrain. There it is right there. And that's only up to 1998. We don't know how many thousands have been killed by legal abortion. Thank you. A Planned Parenthood Abortion Center should not be allowed anywhere in El Centro or in Imperial County. Now, do you notice that Planned Parenthood loves to wrap itself in the clothes of what? In the white clothes of medicine. In the big cities, they go to these professional buildings where you have doctors, dentists, you have all these different professionals in there, and they get in there to disguise themselves that they are one of them, but they're not. That's how the devil gets in. So they're putting on these white robes of medicine. And that's what they did here in El Centro, because the Pioneer Memorial Clinic used to be there. And then we have Clínicas de Familias, or the family clinic next door. And they went down the street a little bit, right next to the gas station. We have what? Migrant Head Start. So I'd like to target those areas where they can be accepted. It should certainly not be allowed at the proposed site along 4th Street, which will result in serious danger of accidents involving people of all ages. On a narrow sidewalk in the presence of heavy speeding traffic, only feet away from the highway. If you doubt my warning, please, I invite you to go over to the proposed location of the Planned Parenthood Abortion Center and stand on the narrow sidewalk there and experience and observe the heavy traffic of cars and trucks speeding by, sometimes only a few feet away from the sidewalk. Imagine the tragic consequences of an unruly child accidentally bolting into the street, or a distracted driver causing a fatal accident at that location. God forbid. Therefore, I suggest that you lower the speed limit to 25 miles per hour between Ross and Aurora. Put speed bumps, maybe. A heavy guard railing along the curb or concrete barriers, those K-railers, to protect the citizens, not only of El Centro, but from Calexico and all the valley. If Planned Parenthood is determined to put a baby-killing center in Imperial County, it should be put at an appropriate site for killing unborn babies, which at least will not endanger Imperial County children and adults. I would recommend one of two abandoned sites: the former National Beef Slaughterhouse in Brawley, or the former Anza Meat Packing Company. I agree to have a transfer agreement out there, but definitely you will not have one here. It's all over with tonight if you don't take care of these issues I just illustrated. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.
Amelia Augusta, please.
Before I start, I would like to say that in the beginning of all this, the man who yelled death threats and all that stuff, I hope that his opinions and his words and his actions do not diminish what I'm going to say tonight. I would like to start out by saying something that's not written on my paper that I have here, is that David Gibbs has no right here to tell who and who should not be fired, offer his legal opinion and questions to the council. The gall of that man just disgusts me. I would like to now,
Please,
I would like to
please.
now, I would also like to say,
Remain respectful, please.
Please.
Remain
sorry, I'm
respectful.
sorry.
Yes.
Just, whew. I see no wrong.
Remain
with-
respectful.
Yes, of course. I've seen no wrong with having Mexican women coming over and being provided health care. I see no,
Please.
sorry. I've heard a lot tonight, and El Centro City Council, my name is Amelia Augusta, and I'm here to defend the rights of women. I am here to defend the right for a woman to have control over her own body, to keep her safe from risky pregnancies and unsafe back alley abortions. I'm not gonna stand by and see women's legal, abortion is legal right to choose be taken away from her, slandered, or judged by any people here. A woman has a right to choose what health care she wants, what is best for her. No one can tell her what she can and cannot do with her body. These people claim to be pro-life, but the majority of them do not want comprehensive health care for all Americans. They do not want Planned Parenthood to provide Imperial Valley women with the health care that they need. Planned Parenthood doesn't only provide abortions, but many other services such as Pap scans, HPV vaccinations, breast exams, vasectomies, and more. The people trying to stop Planned Parenthood from being accessible to poor women, that's it, poor women, obviously don't understand that to prevent abortions, we must provide birth control, sex education, and access to health care for all people. They think more about the fetus inside of the womb that the woman is carrying. To them, a woman is an incubator. In reality, she is an actual living being with rights and different situations that may lead her to choose abortion as an option to benefit her health. The anti-choice movement wants to ban all abortion, regardless of the situation. Now, I want you to think about this. If a woman is raped, she has to carry her rapist baby, no matter how young she is, no matter if she can afford it or not. To them, if the woman or baby will die, if the baby is carried to full term, the woman will have to die, or she will have to endure stillbirth. And if both of them are surely to die, if the pregnancy is carried out, they will both have to die because abortion was not provided to them. One of their issues is, I've heard from them that their issues is that federal money shouldn't be used to fund abortion. No federal money goes to Planned Parenthood abortion services. Every dollar from the federal government that Planned Parenthood receives pays for life-saving cancer screenings, birth control, family planning visits, annual exams, testing for HIV and other STIs, and basic care. These people, they are misinformed, easily emotionally swayed, and are blinded to the struggles that all women face throughout this country. They claim to be pro-life, but I have heard nothing tonight about the abortion doctors that have been killed. They say nothing of the women that have died performing unsafe abortions because they couldn't afford to travel to a clinic. And Paro Valley needs Planned Parenthood because the people who need sexual health care the most are low-income women. Are low-income women.
Hold on a second, please. I'm going to ask the audience to please be respectful, even if you disagree with the comments being made. We were respectful of everybody else, so we need to comply with that, please.
Low-income women cannot afford multiple trips to San Diego for health care. This is what the other side fails to see. They fail to see the importance of women's sexual health care, especially poor women's. I beg the council not to succumb to the fear tactics, misinformation, and ignorance of the people who are trying to stop a vital part of our health care. They don't have the community's best interest in mind. I know it's very emotional. It's a very controversial topic. A lot of things have been said tonight. But as a woman and as a person that can get pregnant, I have the right to terminate a pregnancy if I so do wish, because that is my right as a woman and as a person of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Imari, I think it's Cariotis? Cariotis.
My name's Amari Cariotis. So, I was always taught that there was a separation of church and state. So when you did your invocation, though, it was beautiful. And I was a little taken back by that. I don't believe that anything violated the Brown Act last Tuesday. And what I would say is, since you guys have oversight of your hospitals committee, it's oversight. You are not to stand over them and tell them what to do. They are the people that make that decision for your community. Now, I came here and I stood in line with a lot of people in this audience that didn't know that I was on the other side. I have been threatened. I have been told that I need to watch my back. People who are here from what I say is a woman's right to choose. Stay away from here because we have been intimidated, bullied, and threatened, just like you guys have been tonight by people who have come to this podium to attack you on this dais. As I said earlier when I spoke on the bond issue, we are the poorest county there is. I live in Salton City. I have to bring my daughter to El Centro for treatment. There's no clinic out near me. So if I want my son to learn healthy sexual practices, why not a Planned Parenthood? I heard someone say he didn't mind the teaching part of it. He just didn't mind, he didn't want them killing babies. I'm sorry, you don't speak for me. You don't speak for millions of women who feel that they have to do that or make that personal choice. It's not they wake up in the morning and go, oh, I think I'll have an abortion today. It's not that way. Women struggle with that choice. There are women who get pregnant that the father of that baby will drive her to a Planned Parenthood. And she's not ready for it, and she'll go in and talk and counsel. 3% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion. 3%. So what are they doing with the other 97%? They're educating people. Why? Why are you allowing religious people to put their doctrine up at you and say, well, you know, God doesn't want this to happen? Are these people actually going to start a petition and get more than 4,000 names maybe and raise a fund to support all these babies that they want to save? Because from what I've experienced, from groups like this, that baby gets born, that caring dries up. Maybe not here, I don't know, because after being threatened to have myself harmed by some of these people, you know, I'm not sure what they are, but I don't think they have the good conscience of the community in mind. If you oversee the hospital board, and the hospital board has made a decision, then who are you to be intimidated and bullied by a religious group to change that? It's the law. You are legally bound by what you were elected to do. I don't care about the guy who says, we're going to boycott the hospital 30%. I don't care about the guy who keeps threatening you guys for litigation. Okay? I've heard it all night. I've heard these people tell other people, we're going to sue them if they don't do this. Do not let them bully you guys into this. Don't let them take away the one thing that a woman has the right to do. If she wants education, she can go there. If she wants an abortion, she can go there. I would rather somebody go and have an abortion in a situation where if something did go wrong, they could go to a hospital, instead of being in a butcher's backyard with a hanger being shoved up there to kill a baby. And that will happen if you guys allow this to continue in the vein it is. You need to separate the religious stuff from the legal stuff and move forward.
Thank you much. Marcela Imperial, please, or Imperial.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Council, of the City Council, people of El Centro and Imperial Valley. You will forgive my English because I come from Mexicali. I come on behalf of the people in Mexicali to speak about this important issue because we're really concerned about what is going to happen. If you allow me, I will have as a background a video while I speak. Okay, sorry. The issue that has been discussed at this meeting is about whether the ladies before me were saying whether it was part of the body of the part of the woman's body or not. I think that science has gone beyond that and has proved that the baby inside the mother is a different human being. I didn't want to address that because I thought that was so scientifically proved that everybody, but I see that they don't. So we can see there a baby at 8 weeks of conception. You can see that it already has its part, it's moving, his hand, right hand, left hand. So you see that that is not a part of of the woman's body. That's another body. So I'm showing it because there might be some ignorance between the defenders of abortion. Maybe they don't know what is going on inside the woman's body. But I wanted to show you that. And I'm going to read you a letter. As I said before, my name is Marcela Imperial. I am the director of a crisis pregnancy center in Mexicali. I am here to speak about the issue of abortion. Maybe all of us know of someone that had an abortion, a friend, a relative, a daughter, a niece. We know for sure that there is a question that every woman that has an abortion faces, even if briefly. What if I had not done it? What if my child was alive? The answer to that question will never be found, as it belongs in the field of speculation and lost opportunities. Well, let me tell you what the answer means to the hundreds of women that we have helped during the 11 years since our crisis pregnancy center started operating in Mexicali. We get calls every day from women who face unwanted pregnancies, thinking that their only solution is an abortion. They make an appointment, then come to us, and we listen to them. Show them their unborn child with an ultrasound machine. Let them listen to their baby's heartbeat. Let them know the stages of fetal development, the pain that comes after abortion, and most of all, we let them know that there is always a better option than killing their own flesh and blood. Since 2003 in Mexicali, we have helped 856 women, all from different backgrounds, some married, some single, some young, others unemployed, some with a good job. They all have one thing in common. They don't want to have their babies. The moment we let them realize and think clearly what is it that they want to do, let me tell you, 95% of those women desist from aborting. So that's very important for you to know. They choose life for their unborn child. We have statistics that I can provide to you, so you see that when women see other choices besides abortion, then she chooses life. If they need help, they get it from us. If they are scared, we are there for them. Some of them really can't bring up a child on their own because of difficult circumstances, but they anyway decide to give the life to that child, and there are always loving parents waiting to adopt. There is the lady that said that, will you care for the unwanted children? Of course, everybody here know of a couple that can have children and they want to adopt. So that question is, the answer is yes, we will take care of them. So the answer to the question of what if I had my baby, for the Mexican women, has an answer. Because they don't abort, they don't have that option, thankfully. The answer comes as a smiling mother with a child's arm around her neck, a woman who finally left an abusive relationship to start again with the best of motivations, that would be her child, a couple who have a child to love and take care of. All these answers are filled with love and with hope. 3,000 abortions are performed daily in the USA, as you already might know and might have written down in your brain. If you allow this abortion clinic to open, it won't only target Imperial Valley residents. It will target our women and girls in Mexicali. So the lady that was offering free and affordable health care for Mexican people, we don't want that kind of health care. We refuse that. We're a pro-life people. We don't want that for us. So we don't want Planned Parenthood to lure women with false promises of easy solutions like they do in Tijuana. They stand right across San Isidro, handing leaflets to the women saying, you can have an abortion easy, and we take you to the clinic and we bring you back. We don't want that in our border. So as I was looking at your issues, your pending issues, you want to be a sister city in Mexicali? Well, let me tell you, 95% of our population are against abortion. We're one of the most pro-life states in our country. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. So please keep on letting our women have the chance to believe in themselves and to know that there is always a better choice than death. Please don't let this bloodshed start in our communities. Please don't force these women to believe this is easy, because it won't. Our women deserve better than this. Our children need your unconditional protection from all of you, not your fearful silence. Thank you very much.
Those are all the requests that I have with from slips that were submitted. Anybody else
That one?
wishes to provide testimony? I'm sorry? Okay. Yes, please. Sure.
Good evening. Sorry. 53 years ago, a young mother, very young mother, wanted to have an abortion. All the excuses didn't matter. I'm glad she didn't, because I'm here. I'm not a number. I'm not a number. I'm a person. I think I'm a person. And for those mothers, they want to get rid of the baby because there's no reason for killing somebody. 40 years of my life. I used to cry every night. And my mom used to pray for me until the day that she had the courage. She had the courage to face me and tell me, you know, why are you depressed? Why are you crying every night? Because I was going to have an abortion. I wanted to get rid of you because I was young. And I said, Mom, I'm here. March 11 is going to be my birthday. And you know what she does? Every day, she hugs me and kisses me because she feels guilty. And I used to be proud of this in Imperial Valley. I used to be real proud. You know why? Because my mom didn't have no money to go to Santiago and get rid of me. Now what's going to happen? They don't have to have money to go have an abortion. That hurt my heart. That hurt me so bad. I couldn't study. I was always afraid and scared. And I didn't know why. But it was because she wanted to kill me. She wanted to get rid of me. And I'm here. Kill me now. Do it. It's the same thing. You guys gonna kill a baby, might as well get a knife and kill me right now. It's the same thing. But now, I'm gonna defend myself. I couldn't do it then, but I can do it now. I can do it now. So, I try to understand. I try to understand these numbers. And these numbers are hurting me. Imagine my mom hugging my kids, hugging my grandchildren, because I'm a grandmother and I'm very proud of it. I'm a great person. I don't steal, I don't kill, I don't point my finger at nobody. You can think whatever you want, but do it on your own. Don't take my family away. Let my grandkids have kids. In a few years, we're not going to see no more babies. Look at the movies. They're telling the truth. There's going to be no more babies. We're going to have machines. And you're going to raise a machine, not a baby, because there's not going to be a heart in it. He's not going to be able to say, I love you. He's not going to be able to hug you and kiss you. When my mother confessed that to me, I started being myself. When she opened those doors and he says, I'm sorry, mija, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. And it's happening again. Women, they don't know what they're doing when they want to have an abortion. They don't know what they're doing. We're supposed to help them. We're supposed to give them a hand. If you don't want the baby, there's a lot of people that can have babies. My daughter, she's 33 years old and she cannot have a baby. No, she can't have no babies. I'm not going to see any babies from her, but my son, he gave me 3 beautiful grandchildren. I'm here. So imagine my mom, when she looked at me, I'm a singer, and she's so proud of me. Think about it. I'm a great singer. I sing everywhere and I get paid. Imagine when my mom sees me singing. You don't think she's proud? People, think about it. I could have been 3001, not Paloma. Imagine, 3001. I would be a number instead of being here. It's not fair. If you don't want to have babies, you know what to do. You know what to do. You can stop. Why? No. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to have sex. I can have an abortion. Oh, okay. Okay, have an abortion. Great. See, they're not thinking. They're not thinking. They don't give us a choice. Why don't you guys try to kill me now and see what happens? I'm gonna defend myself. But then, when I was inside my mom's womb, I couldn't do nothing. I felt hopeless. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody thinks about the rights of the baby. If you kill a dog, you go to jail, right? Am I right, sir? You go to jail if you kill a dog? Yes? But if you kill a baby, that's okay. That's okay. I'll pay for it. Go ahead and have it. Go ahead, I'll pay for it. Damn people, what about us? What about us? We have no rights. We have no insurance for people that is pregnant. The baby don't have insurance to say, hey, wait a minute, madre. What are you doing, mom? What are you doing, mom? Why are you doing this to me? Why? Because you can hear him, because he can talk. I don't even want to think about my mom having an abortion and not seeing my face, not hear me singing. You know who helps my mom? She has 7 kids, and I have my sister-in-law there, the chick won't let me lie. I'm the one who takes them to the store, to the doctors. I'm the one who's helping them. When my dad gets sick, yes, who takes him to the hospital at 2 or 3 in the morning? Who takes my parents to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning? Me. Happened to the others. Come on, people, conscious, a little bit of conscious. So please, if I have to go like this, I will. Please don't open that clinic. You guys don't know what you guys are doing. I know you guys are blind right now, but think about it, girls. Think about it. We're person, we're people. I'm here. But when I was inside of my mother, I couldn't do this. I couldn't say, please, mommy, don't kill me. Don't. Wait, so you can see my face. And after that, kill me if you want to. After the baby's born, I would tell my mother, kill me if you want to, kill me now. I can defend myself. But back then, I couldn't do nothing. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
City Council members, my name is Jerry Escueda, and I'd like to share with you that you brought up a good point. As Salvation Army's been here for over 100 years, we strive to find solutions to the problem of poverty, of homelessness, helping the poor, and also as far as taking them out to San Diego to get help. But we are now looking at what is taking place here, and they're saying, you know, like she says, who's going to take care of the children? Who's going to take care of the mother? I am planning to put a budget in to get funding through fundraisers and everything we can do to have money. If there's any woman that's pregnant and needs help, you can come to the Salvation Army. We'll help you. If that is what's going to take for City Council to see that the community wants to come together to help these pregnant women, I know where you're coming from. And sure, they need the medical attention.
Sure.
And
Can you
I'm
address the
sorry,
council, please?
I just want to say this. We're not mad. We are acting out of compassion for the babies that don't have a voice. As Salvation Army moves in this area, okay, I'm looking for Planned Parenthood. If they do go in, they'll put the abortion clinic in there. Let them have all of the clinics where they can give free all the stuff, which we do have, as I shared last week. We do have agencies that do that. But anyway, if they do have to go in, eliminate the abortion part. And let's strategize as the churches come together, which we are now, and see what we can do together to save these babies, and not just the babies, but the mothers from making a decision they're going to regret for the rest of their life. That's what Imperial Valley is all about. I know the City Council has a compassion for the Valley. I know you do. You wouldn't be sitting there if you didn't. You didn't wake up one day and said, I want to be part of city council. I want to be mayor. No, you didn't. You lived in Imperial Valley. You were raised in Imperial Valley. You know everybody in this room and outside this room. They love you. They care for you. And I've only known you 10 years, and I love you guys. And I want to say, as a team, together with you, let's be proactive in finding a solution. And if this is the solution we can do to come up with in a budget, like I say, fundraisers, whatever, car washes, whatever, and start building up that area, I'll tell you what, we won't have to worry about Planned Parenthood. We'll get a psychologist. We'll get whatever's needed for that girl. That's what, not just for that girl, but for the parents to get counseling. That's what it's all about, bringing the wholesome back into that family that wasn't there before. And you know as well as I do, there's a lot of dysfunctional families in this area. We have a lot of kids in our programs. Their parents don't care iota for those kids. And we take them in as their parents. We wrap our arms around them. Not just us, but other churches here, Christ Community and all the others. I know they do. That's why they have their kids program. So they can have a balance and a choice as they grow up what they want to do when they grow up and not get caught up in that environment. Let's be proactive. City Council, Imperial Valley, it's El Centro, and let's find a solution. The solution, a quick fix is not going to make it. It's not. But if we come together and fight, William Booth says in a statement, he says, when there's people homeless in the street, I'll fight. When there's people going into prison, coming out, and going into prison and coming out, I'll fight. When there's women that are being beaten, I'll fight. I'll fight for these people and try to give them a chance to get back or to get a sense of what life is really all about. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They don't care. And I know you care. I know you. Well, not everybody, but I know most of you. And you do care. So I know you care. Jason, I know. Alex, Ruben, I know you care. I know you for 10 years. And I'm proud to be your friend. So let's do something here. Let's stop all this stuff and just say, I got a solution. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put and depend on these areas of society to come to the help of these women. And you know what? How many churches here will raise their hand and says, I want to be a part of that? Yeah. Look at that. I'm not here to take the lead. I'm not. I'm here to be your servant. I'm here to do God's will. And I love you. I love each and every one of you. God bless you.
Well, before I do have a couple of slips, so let me call the people, then I'll get to you. Okay, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Luz Pangle. I was born in Mexicali, raised till the age of 10. Then I came to this beautiful country. I came to this beautiful and wonderful country that took me in. I was so by this country that when I was able to become a citizen, I became a citizen. I love the government, you know. But that's not the point. I've stepped down, but I was almost 20 years a volunteer with with Birthright. I worked with Head Start too, so the little ones I like. I was a volunteer with Birthright for almost 20 years. I saw countless of women, girls of all ages coming afraid because they were pregnant. And they thought that the only solution was an abortion. And by the grace of publication, in the telephone book, we were under abortion alternatives. So a lot of the women came thinking that they were going to get an abortion. But we didn't mislead them. That's the way the Blue Angels, they were in town. The Yellow Pages put us under that category. We didn't ask to be there. They put us. So they would come. In almost 20 years, I spoke to a lot of women. Part of our training was strict confidentiality. And we were not even to acknowledge these women when we would see them around town or anywhere else. But there were countless times that someone would come up to me, and by the grace of, I would forget their faces. I guess it was part of the training, forget their faces. Countless of women would come up to me and say, "Do you remember me?" I didn't remember them, almost 20 years. And they would say, "You see that little boy, that little girl? I was going to abort that little girl, but you talked to me." But a story that I really came up to say was, one day there was this girl that she was pregnant. She had 3 children already. But for some reason, she didn't do it right away. I don't know if it was she didn't have the funds, the $300, $500 that they were charging her in San Diego, or she didn't have the way and means to get to San Diego. So time passed. So she came to me, or came to the office when she was 8 months pregnant. By then, and she said, "You know what, time just," and so I didn't abort. But that was her intention. She says, "I want to give my baby up for adoption." I said, "Okay." We didn't get involved in adoptions, but we would refer them to agencies that they had to take the initiative to call. Okay, this girl calls an adoption agency in San Francisco, has her baby, the social worker comes, takes the baby. They already had a couple that was going to adopt this child because it was biracial. And they have adoption agencies that work with that type of. Anyway, the baby's gone. 3 weeks later, and because I thought this was a very special situation, I gave her my home phone number, which I seldom did. 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, she called me and she says, "I want my baby back." And I said, "Can I call you back? I'll call you back." My husband walked in the kitchen, and I said, "The audacity of this woman to want her baby back." And he looked at me and he said, "Luz, while there's still life, there is hope. Has she aborted her baby, she couldn't have gotten that baby back." And we contacted the adoption agency, and they brought her baby back to her. They flew all the way from San Francisco, San Diego, and drove here to give her baby back. If she had aborted it, I leave you with that.
Thank you. Kathy Coronado, please. Kathy Coronado.
Hi, my name is Kathy Coronado, and I want to thank you for allowing me to speak again. I just wanted to readdress you and the public that is here tonight and remind you that I shared my story a couple of weeks ago, not only with the El Centro appointed trustees, but with you as well. And I was very emotional for me. That was only the second time in public that I have shared my story of my abortion experiences. And yes, I did say experiences. I sent you a letter today, each of you, and it took me a long time because I wasn't quite sure what should I say in writing that I didn't say publicly. And all I did was reiterate my story. It's a story that cannot go without being acknowledged, just like many of the stories that you've heard here tonight. Everything that they're saying about post-abortion stress syndrome is absolutely true. Lest I remind you that I attempted suicide 3 times during the course of my life between the ages of 21 all the way up through 32 years. I am now going to be 47 this month. My abortions were 28 years ago, the first one. I'm not here to debate with you whether life starts in the womb. I'm not here to debate with you whether you believe in Christ. I'm not here to debate with you anything except that I am asking you, the public is asking you to overturn this agreement. You have the power, and I am begging you and respectfully asking you to please use that power in a way that represents the public and our future generations. I am fortunate enough to have 2 children, even after what I had done. I am working through those issues of abortion by participating in post-abortion retreats and support meetings that have been, that I have been invited to in this community. I'm not even from here. I was born and raised in Fontana, California. I moved here when I was 26 years old. And I came here because my stepbrother was here. I stayed here because I loved the community. I wasn't a Christian at the time. I wasn't a religious nut when I had my abortions either, but yes, I did have a choice that I wish someone in Planned Parenthood would have educated me about. But I did not get that pre-counseling from them, other than that it would be a quick process, a quick procedure, and I could resume my normal activities. I'll never forget those words because nothing was normal after that, nothing. I am imploring you to really consider all that has been said by everyone here tonight because every bit of it is truth. Truth hurts sometimes. I know because I had to face my own truth and what I had done. I had for a long time, even after becoming a born-again Christian, thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, for saving my soul. Even after becoming a born-again Christian, I still, how do I speak out on this? Because I was sitting in the pews hearing my pastor talk about murder, and I'm sitting there, nobody's committed murder in this room, though, and I'd sit there, oh, what? Yes, I have. And those images, after I found out exactly what abortion was, because I didn't even know for the longest time until after I had investigated it. I asked that everyone investigated. That picture right there is truth. It's not easy to look at. It's ugly. Truth hurts, but we have to acknowledge it. We must respond in a responsible way. Whatever your convictions are, and if they are of God, respond appropriately with obedience. If it is not from God, respond appropriately to your public. Please listen and please overturn this decision. Whatever is in your power, please do it, because we will not stop speaking out. My story is public, and I will share it so to save the next life, because I can't bring back the ones I lost, the ones I threw away, the ones I killed. but I can stop someone else from doing it, and I can gently provide the love and healing and prayers for a woman who's experienced what I have experienced. And I will definitely help someone in need if they need groceries, they need a ride, or whatever it is, because you know what? As a single mother, that's what's happened to me. And I thank the Lord, and I thank the people of this community who extended their love to me regardless and showed me the way. Thank you.
I'm going to call, I have 4 additional slips here, and then, no, I stand corrected. Okay, Michael Gonzalez, please.
Hi, my name is, like the mayor said, my name is Michael Gonzalez, and I have to say, it's an honor to speak to you, Mayor, and to the rest of the council, men and women. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no intention of speaking. I just came here with my church group to help, help the cause to ban or to stop the planning for this clinic. As you can see, that's why I'm wearing a Batman shirt, because I wasn't prepared to to talk. But after hearing everybody's speeches, I felt like I had to speak out. As I heard from one of the previous speakers, it's like a woman has the right to to her body. It's her choice to go through with this procedure. I have to disagree with that, because there's okay, I'll admit a woman has rights to her body. Okay, she has rights. She has rights. No one's denying that. A woman wants to get piercings or have tattoos. She has a right. If she chooses to become like a lawyer or a policeman for a career, that is her right. But I don't think it's her right to to kill or to exterminate an unborn baby. Sorry, a little bit nervous up here.
Don't be nervous.
All right. Michael Gonzalez. I was born and raised here in El Centro, and I had during my childhood, I had a rough childhood because my mother, she was a very abusive woman, both physically and verbally, and not only to me, but to everybody else in my family, my brothers and sisters, my father included. And after years of her relenting abuse, I had to ask, did she have the right? Did she have the right to smack me around, to cuss me out, tell me that I was worthless? Did she have that right? And also, I hear from the other speakers that from the previous ones, how women who go through with this are constantly berated or persecuted for going through this procedure by religious followers or churchgoers. And I have to say I apologize for that, because I am a church follower. I go to church regularly, and I have to apologize for that, because that's not what we all think. We all don't think you're murderers, but it is a wrong act. It's extremely wrong. But from my time with the church, I am constantly reminded that God may hate the sin, but he does not hate the sinner. In fact, he loves them. And so please keep that in mind. That So, please, like I said, I'm very nervous, so I'll try to keep this speech short. So, please, reconsider, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez. Before we proceed, does the council wish to take a brief break? So let's take a 5-minute break and reconvene at 9:15, please.
Okay, and we're back.
Thank you very much. I walked away with just a handful of slips, and I come back and there's more than a handful of slips. You know what? I think that in the interest of time, we've heard you loud and clear about what your sentiments are in terms of Planned Parenthood, in terms of the abortion issue. I do not want to cut off people that feel like they need to address the council. I am, however, going to enforce the 3-minute time limit. So when 3 minutes are up, I'll ask you to please end your comments. And if someone is able to end them earlier than 3 minutes, that would be most appreciated. But again, we hear you loud and clear. And still come and speak to us, but we've been at it for a little over 2 hours, I think. So Sandra Lopez Temores, please.
Good evening. I know that we all have families, and I am coming as a mother, a community member, and as a teacher. I work with students that are at risk at the high school level. One of the first issues that I have with Planned Parenthood is that the name itself is misleading. My husband and I were not able to have children, so I said, hey, what if we go to San Diego and go to Planned Parenthood, because you're going to plan your parenthood, and maybe they'll help us out. They said, lady, do you need an abortion? I said, no, I need a child. So when I went to them, it's not planning to be a family. It's how to stop having a child. So they give you multiple options on how to do that, which is great. That's their business. You know, I respect it. But I also need my home to be respected. When I was a child, I went to 26 different schools, starting from 1st grade through 12th grade. When I was in 11th grade, my mother said, hey, we've lived everywhere in California. Where do you want to stay so that you can graduate? I said, I want the Imperial Valley. Why? Of all the places that we've lived, why there? It's so boring, it's dusty, it's hot. Why? I said, because you are cared for, you are protected, you are valued. And that's why I came here 25 years ago and I stayed. And I said, how can I be a productive member of my society? And then in my little north side corner, I started my own little dance group. And I said, you know what? I'm going to contribute with my community however I can. And I know, and I see you guys. You guys are like the parents of our community because you guys have to make the tough decisions. You know what? That park, we're getting a lot of people using drugs. Let's clean it up. You know what? That part over there, let's clean it up. Let's provide something for our citizens so that we can have a good community. This, ladies and gentlemen, the Planned Parenthood is going to destroy your community. I would have loved to have bring the statistics, but do you know that the crime rate goes up when you have a Planned Parenthood abortion portion of the clinic in your community? I do not want that for my daughter that I had to adopt in order to have. I am telling you as a parent and as a citizen, I am concerned. My roots are here. They are grounded. I do not want to leave. This is where my life is. And I want to have a good future for my daughter. I want it to be hard for her to make that choice of having an abortion. I want her to think twice and say, well, I'm going to have to wait for that bus to pick me up before school so that I can go and get my abortion. I want her to think about it. If we have the clinic there, how many of my students are going to go without a conscience, without an adult? I want you to think of us as your family because you're going to impact everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, our children that don't have parents at home, to help them make decisions because they're working in the fields, like my 63-year-old mom still does? What is that kid going to have as an orientation for a parent? Only us, the community. We have to be the conscience. We have to help them make right choices. We don't have to make the choices for them, but at least they have to be informed. And if something life-changing is going to impact them, at least make them think twice before they go over the hill, before they go across the mountain. Last one. Can I just say one thing?
Please.
Okay. I would like if you, the city council, can please hear out not just the people that are here, because you know what? Maybe we are one-sided. How about if you say it out for a vote? All the citizens in El Centro vote for this. Because you know what? It is going to impact more than El Centro Regional Medical Center. It is going to impact our whole community. So we need to vote on this. We need to see that this is a very serious issue. What do educated people say? What do non-educated people say? What do all our citizens have to say about the issue? Because it's impacting.
Okay, we
Finally,
hear you. Please.
Sorry. I will end.
Thank you. Jesus Barros, please.
Good evening. My name is Jesus Barros, and I'm short. My words are short. So, my thing is, I went out and spoke to the small group that's up front. I went up there and I said, "What do you stand?" And I asked them. They told me the fetus was not a human being. So I said, "What constitutes a human being?" And he says, "Well," they asked me. They made a point. "Well, does a fetus have a Social Security card?" And I said, "Well, does an alien have a Social Security card?" But then I told them, it's basic biology. When I asked them, "How many chromosomes does a human being have?" They couldn't answer that. Well, I said, 23, when it meets 46, at the moment of 46, it's life. It's a human being. Amen. But they said the fetus is not a human being. I'm telling them, it's a stage of life. Like you're a teenager, I'm a senior citizen. That's a stage of life. It's a human being. I have a daughter. I'm married for 40 years, the same woman. Had no sex otherwise, so I don't have to pay child money. I knew how to keep it. Okay? Child support or whatever. I don't know. Okay. When my daughter came to me and she told me she was pregnant, she thought I was going to jump on her, because I'm very religious, Catholic, 100%, I'm sorry, church and state, throw that out, the record. When my daughter told me she was pregnant, I embraced her. She says, "Dad, you surprised me." That daughter gave a birth to a son that's everything wrong with him. He can't hear. He's got to be fed on the tummy. I spoke to these people. There was a couple here, and I said, "Here, this is my grandson. Would you aborted him?" And I said, "Have you seen an aborted fetus? How it's torn apart?" He says, "What's my choice? You mean to tell me you would abort your child? Well, that's my choice." That's sad. These people said, I got 48 seconds. These people out there said, after they meet, they're going to have an orgy. To me, we need to educate what sex is. Sex is a gift from God. I'm sorry, just a gift. If we would maintain and respect the ladies and who they are, we men, we need to take a cold shower, and we're not going to, I haven't heard of anybody dying from abstaining from sex. We can respect you ladies, but again, 14, 13, if you guys, ladies, can help us maintain your clothing and protect your dignity, you help us. Because, I don't know, but if you guys cause us sin, you're just as guilty.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm going to mispronounce the name, so my apologies in advance. Nicole Rathfleisch.
Good evening. First, I want to thank you for giving the time due to this issue tonight. We really appreciate that. I already shared at the last meeting about Ameris Ministries and our foster and adoption services, so I'm not going to go into all of that again. I just felt like I needed to address some of the things that were brought up here tonight. And I do want to say that with adoption being a loving, life-affirming option for unplanned pregnancies, we know that Planned Parenthood rarely offers this as an adoption or referrals for adoption services. The reason? They make their money off abortions. Okay, there were a few accusations made tonight that I feel like need to be addressed. One is that you shouldn't listen to David Gibbs because he's just a bully from the outside who doesn't represent our community. But I would like to clarify that he represents, and you have this list in front of you, many, many, many churches, organizations, businesses. I think we're up to, what, 3,500 people signing petitions?
800 signed tonight alone out there. 800 new.
We don't know the exact head count, but we've heard between 3,000 and 5,000 people outside. Those are the people he represents. We have asked him to come here, and he has come pro bono to represent us. So when you listen to him, you are listening to our representatives. So yes, you have the right to listen to him. Planned Parenthood, however, where are they? Why are you listening to a bully from outside of our community that isn't even showing up to these meetings unless it's because they're showing up behind closed doors? Okay, we've been accused about not caring about poor women, but I don't have time to list all of the ministries and organizations that do care for the poor here, but it is vast, and I would just like to get a showing of hands of people here that are involved in organizations that are helping either women with unplanned pregnancies, children, the poor, the homeless, anything like that. Can we get a showing? Can we get a hand clap from outside of those of you that are helping with this? In fact, Pastor Moore from Holtville just came over and told me, and this is representative of more than just him, but he goes all over the world helping poor people and has 3 orphanages in Mexico alone. Christ Community Church, which I'm a part of, alone cares for the poor, the homeless, crisis pregnancies, children of the neighborhood through Kitchen with a Mission, Iron Man Ministries, New Creations, Ameris Ministries. I could go on and on. So this community is here to help these people. Planned Parenthood is not. Planned Parenthood is coming to exploit them. These women, these people who are in opposition to us need to know we are not here with hate or to throw stones. We love them and we care about them, even though we differ in opinion.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pastor Ron Valenzuela, please.
Again, I want to thank the City Council for your extra time. I pastor a local church here in El Centro, been doing it for quite some time. I'm also a retired federal firefighter. I did 23 years at NAF El Centro, retired as assistant chief. And all those times, for 23 years, not one time, there's A shift and B shift, did we not respond to an alarm? Not one. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, or even during the Thanksgiving lunch at the fire station commissary, wherever we ate. We went, because that was our job. We responded to the residents who lived on base. We responded to aircraft emergencies on the field. We responded with a county fire department for different things out in the county. As a young fireman coming up, I responded in the truck here to El Centro because you requested help from NAF El Centro, and we responded. Not one time did none of us debate, should we go or don't we go? No, because why? Lives were in danger. A fireman's number one call is for life. Second call is for property loss. But our number one call is life. I've been on calls for aircraft come in with live ordnance, rockets under their wings, smoke in the cockpit. But there's a pilot coming in on that plane, and we went every time. And I'm talking to you. as a first responder, as a fireman, that the alarm has been sounded to you, the city council. You have to respond to that alarm and do what's right. And saving a life is right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Teresa Lopez, please.
Good evening. And thank you again for giving us the time to say what we feel tonight on this terrible issue of abortion. Bottom line, abortion is murder. And I feel strongly about it. I'm just amazed at how in our whole country, abortion is legal. When doctors, medical professionals take the Hippocratic oath to preserve life. And yet through Planned Parenthood and these abortion clinics, we're killing human beings. I think it was mentioned before that we get arrested for abusing an animal. All the commercials on TV is to help stop abuse of animals, instead of helping the abuse, against the abuse of children, and children in the womb, because your mother chose life, right? You can't deny that. It would have been cruel for your mother to do abortion like the pictures displayed here. It's horrible. Now, you chose the location of the east side for the Planned Parenthood location. To me, it's to prevent Hispanics and blacks from being born. That's what it means to me. There's been cases when pregnant mothers who have been killed, it doesn't count as one felony, it counts as two because they count the person inside them as a human being. So why is it okay in that case, but not right now? And then we need to sign a permission slip for our children to go on a field trip, to take a pill in school, to see a video in school. But yet you take our children from the age of 10 to probably below 18 without our permission to get an abortion, a surgical procedure done by a non-medical person? Does it make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. But yet our taxpayer dollar is used for that. Why not bring another university? If we have the highest unemployment rate, we have the unhealthiest county, we have the highest in teenage pregnancies, but we bring a Planned Parenthood to solve the problem. Why not another university? Why not instill pride, self-esteem in our young women in the community? I was a single parent. I was on welfare. But I chose life for my two children. Right now, they're college graduates. Can you imagine if I would have chose to kill them? My son, who's here, where are you, Christian? He's here. And my daughter, she's in school in San Diego. But can you imagine if I would have chose to abort them just because they were an inconvenience to taxpayers or to myself, to my career? No. I never even thought of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Alex Abadi, please.
Good evening, and thank you for staying awake. Is there I mean, there's plenty of parents here, and some parents might believe in abortion, but this question goes out, and it goes for, I mean, I heard a lot about the women's choice. I'm a father, I have 4 children. And there's a father's choice too. And I'm sure there's abusive women to their children. I'm sure there's abusive fathers. But I'm just curious, amongst you and us, which one of us wouldn't die for our children? Which one of us wouldn't take a bullet, chase down somebody trying to harm them? So I know there's legal laws in the United States. Well, let me tell you about my travels. In Japan, I went there, and I did do business overseas. And in 1990s, they were convinced, all the people there was convinced, you can ask them the question about children. How many can you have? Oh, we can only have one. We can only have one. Why can you only have one? Well, because the government says we can only have one. This is the 1990s. I said, you can't do this. This is a death society. Do you know what's going on today in Japan? They're asking and begging their citizens. The reason why they said they could only have one, because the island could not statistically support people. It's not big enough. There are too many. In fact, they had a theory it would sink. But today, do you know what they're telling their people? Please have children. We cannot sustain. They're in a death spiral. They're the oldest aging community in the world. And guess what the children think of? They were told not to have children. They don't want to have children. There's no hope. This is America. This is the West. We don't have to listen to bureaucrats telling us what to do. We have common sense. We know the difference. There's military people out there losing their lives every day, and I don't know them. And why are they doing this for us? We need to protect who can't speak. We need to hold the ground. We have to have consciousness. And it's greater than anything than say, these are religious people, these are non-religious people. We have consciousness. It is part of religion, and it is part of consciousness. We know what happened to the Greeks, and the Japanese are going through it, and it's going through the earth.
Thank you, sir. Betty Predmore, please.
Hello, my name is Betty Predmore, and I am a co-director of Woven Women of Virtue Empowerment Network, along with my sister-in-law, Stacy Chandler. We have 2 women's centers here in Imperial Valley where we work every day with women who are struggling with life issues. And I just wanted to share with you briefly what I have learned in the process, because until I started this ministry, I had no idea really. I was ignorant to abortion and the effects of abortion. But I have learned through working with women day after day that there are so many ramifications for women who have been a part of this process. As some of them have shared with you earlier, we see women who are addicted because they're trying to mask and cover up the pain and the sorrow they have in their hearts for what they've done. We see women who are parenting the children they do have in very negative ways because they're so burdened down by what they've done to the unborn child that they killed that they can't even grasp how to properly parent a child. And oftentimes they're removed from them. We've seen women that are so wrapped up in their anger and their guilt that they can't have any functional relationship. All of it roots back to abortion. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that, because my hope is that you don't have the experience just like I did it. But now I have the knowledge, and I've had to get it through my work, and my heart bleeds for these women. I spent a weekend at a weekend abortion recovery retreat with these women, and my heart was just broken to pieces over what I heard, and the sorrow and the pain and the agony that they're going through and the guilt. And I just want us to remember that there are other options than aborting a child. There are people who want children who cannot have them. There are people who have them who want more. I'm blessed with 3 adopted children. And I thank God every single day that though their mother was caught up in the drudgery of drugs and everything else that she did not choose to end their lives, because I, my husband, and the rest of our family would have been robbed of that blessing. And so I know Ameris Ministries will work alongside women. Woven will work alongside women. Whatever it takes to let these babies be born and be given an opportunity for life. And I try to live my life every day by God's word. And God's word tells me that God is the giver and the taker of life. And I choose to believe that. And nowhere in my Bible does it say Planned Parenthood has that right. Thank you.
Thank you. Joshua Guardado, please.
Hi, my name is Joshua Guardado. I go to Christ Community Church. I was actually going to say a bunch of things, but since I got 3 minutes, I'll cut it short. I always like this saying by Ronald Reagan. I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born. I mean, it's true. I'm married. I have 4 children. My oldest daughter, she's going to be 10 years old. Next month, no, in April. Yeah, next month. Sorry. Okay. When her mom and I went to the doctors, they did some tests, and then they told us to come back and said, hey, you know what, we found some stuff wrong with her. They told us she was gonna have Down syndrome. She was gonna have a lot of problems. She wasn't gonna be able to walk. They told us a bunch of stuff. They gave us the option for abortion. Me and her mom, you know, we didn't agree, and you know, said no, we're not gonna have abortion. We're gonna raise, you know, our daughter. It takes a real strong person, strong family, to raise up, you know, a child that has, you know, a bunch of difficulties. And the first year was rough. You know, the first 3 months, you know, she had to eat out of a tube. You know, she was at the children's hospital, eating out of the tube. She had stuff in her head. I mean, it wasn't a pleasant sight, but I mean, she was living, she was growing, she was getting healthier. As she got a little older, when 1 year old, you know, she just started running around, eating normal, and now, you know, she's gonna be 10 years old, and I mean, she's very smart. She's always having good grades. I mean, she's a fantastic helper. She's a, you know, fantastic child. I couldn't ask for a better child. I mean, she's just, she's right over there. Hi, man. Yeah. She looks at her belly button because she had gastroschisis. Her intestines, they had to put it back in on the first day she was born. And it was it looked like a huge pile. And now when she looks at it, she sees what God did in her life. She sees the miracle. She sees that prayer works, you know, and I mean, I'm amazed by what God can do. And I've seen what Christ Community does. I've seen what other churches do. I've seen what family can do, friends. I mean, I used to work at the church where I used to work with, I used to help people that a lot of people say, oh, they don't deserve help, they don't deserve money, food, nothing. But Christ Community has been there. My family's always been there. I grew up very poor, so I know what it is to eat beans every day out of the pot. You know, just you know, right now they're handing out Medi-Cal food stamps, just like candy right now. I mean, it's if there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if you need money, you need help, you can find it. Just don't be lazy. You can go get help. Planned Parenthood, I mean, they do have other good things, but like they said, if they could just do without the abortion stuff, okay. I mean, you got Google. You could search all kinds of stuff to help you with sex, to help you with you know, like someone said about abstaining. I mean, there's a sock. Guys can use a sock. I mean,
thank you, sir. Thank you. Eric Natwick, please.
Mayor Silva, City Council. I don't know all of you. I know some of my friends. Cheryl and I went to church together with the most intelligent lawyer in the Imperial Valley. Sedalia, you and I We were on many committees together when I served 8 years on Hopeville City Council. So no, I'm not from El Centro. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to tell you whether you violated the Brown Act or not, because that would be a legal opinion, and I'm not a lawyer. But I can tell you that what I think happened last Tuesday night was a violation of the spirit of the Brown Act. And I think, as a city councilman and as a mayor of Hopeville, I would not have wanted to live with that, okay? Now, I wasn't always a Christian. I'm a Christian now. Christianity is about life. It's not about death. It's about loving people whether we agree with them or not. We love women that had abortions, not because they had abortion, but because we love people. Okay? Before I was a Christian, I went to the University of Wyoming to study because I love science. I became a scientist. Before I went to graduate school, in fact, when I was a freshman, I went to the library because abortion was being debated. Okay? I studied it. I found out even before I was a Christian that abortion was killing babies and that what was being put forward was a lie. It is a lie. And Satan is a liar. So now, when I became a Christian, I joined a culture of life, not a culture of death. And I encourage you to change your opinion for life. We don't want to be a community of death. We want to be a community of life. I sent all of you an email. I know you've probably received hundreds of emails, so I understand if you didn't respond to my email, but you know how I feel in that email. Please read it if you haven't. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this will be the last public comment of tonight. Again, we appreciate your comments. We all hear you loud and clear. And as you heard in a report from the city attorney, the council has asked for an independent opinion of the matter and the jurisdiction of the council and as it relates to this matter. So let me call Brian Barnhurst, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and members of the community. There's been a lot of things that have been said tonight, and I agree with much of it. We're all out here to support something that we believe in. But to avoid duplicating what you've heard a million times, just a couple things. As a homeowner and as a property owner here in the Valley in El Centro, I am concerned about potential property value diminishing if this agency were to join the community and offer its services. That's one concern. My second concern, I am a teacher, middle school currently. I've worked in grades 7 to 12. And I'm not naive enough to know, to think that this is the only population that would be coming for these services, but during the interlude there that we had, as I was meandering about, both my wife and I noticed that a significant number of the ones in support of this were young ladies. And I know that's not the only ones that we've had a number of people that have come, that have talked, and I understand that. But as a teacher, and from the time I was 15, I've been working, probably with the exception of one calendar year, with young people, whether at summer camp or as a teacher, and I've worked for 7 years as a teacher. And it's a concern of mine that some of these young girls who have not been properly educated, do not know all the possible things, may not have the opportunity to really be informed and make an informed choice. And my heart goes out to them for that reason. I noticed as I was waiting in the back, our thing at the front, Shining with Opportunity, and I encourage you, I don't envy your position by any means. You guys have there's a lot of people on different sides that have a lot to say and very strong feelings. I don't envy your position in any way. I wish you courage and clear minds as you make a good choice. And I'm confident that the Lord has put you in a position for this time to make the choice that is best. So may He give you clear minds and courage as you go forward in whatever that is you decide to do. You're there for a reason. I just plead with you that the opportunities that are shining from this good city are things that we can look back on and say we're proud of those things.
Okay.
So
Thank
thank
you,
you for the time.
We still have a couple of minor reports for the council, our mayor, council, and member reports. Do you wish to take a break, or do we proceed? Okay. So thank you very much again for being here. Last item on the council are the mayor and council member reports. We'll start with Mr. Cardenas.
I have no reports to share, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Cardenas. Ms. Walker?
I would report that I was in Sacramento for 2.5 days last week as part of the Southern California Association of Governments to meet with legislators on a number of different issues and to forge those relationships that we think would be beneficial for this region. Also like to report that the League of California Cities Board, and Ms. Sanders, you may want to comment on this as well. At their board meeting, they were presented with letters from the City of Los Angeles, the City of Long Beach, and the City of Oakland, asking the League of California Cities Board to reverse their decision with regard to supporting SB 7. And the board unanimously voted to continue to move forward with support of the litigation challenging SB 7. I did bring back letters that were sent in response to each, and I thought that they were very well reasoned on the part of the League of California Cities, cited a number of instances where the league actually intervened or filed amicus briefs on behalf of these different cities to support their own local control issues. So that would be the end of my report.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Mr. Jackson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to report that on this coming Saturday, Mr. Cardenas and I will be traveling to D.C. for the National League of Cities Conference, and I'm sure we'll both have a report back when we get back. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sanders?
Mr. Mayor, I have several that I would like to report on. So if you will afford me an additional time.
Of course.
Thank you. One is the Area Agency on Aging. I met with that group. As you know, that is for senior citizens, anyone 60 or over. They will be hosting a public hearing to talk about all of their particular projects. They will be having those public hearings in the cities of El Centro, Brawley, Calexico, and Imperial. I did bring a brochure here, a small brochure with what would be the topics of discussion. Second, I participated in the Readers for Leaders program, stressing the importance of reading. That was held in the community of Heber, which coincides with Dr. Seuss. Attended the Chinese New Year. Mr. Duran and I were there to help them celebrate this year. Attended the Hospital Foundation Mardi Gras dinner and fundraiser. I don't know that I need to report out anything on the hospital. We've discussed that quite a bit tonight, so I'm going to skip over that, if you will. Talk about Caltrans, the report that we had from Caltrans. Caltrans is investing $160 million in this portion of District 11. Majority of that will go for I-8 improvements. They reminded me that I-8 was built some 40 years ago, and it needs a lot of improvements along that thoroughfare. It is anticipated that the construction of this, or reconstruction of it, will occur in late 2015 or early 2016. They encourage us to be patient and endure the closures of the roads or part of the highway as we are moving back between here and San Diego. They anticipate there will be 3,000 to 4,000 jobs, public work jobs, that will be created as a result of this $160 million investment. The ICT staff will be looking at the feasibility of forming a JPA. As you know, that is some of the things that you're truly interested in. JPA or a COG, predominantly to address regional issues, and those regional issues would be anything over and above transportation. We already have a HERO program, but it'll also be looking at things perhaps like animal control. Let's see, SCAG, Ms. Walker may wish to add something to this. SCAG will be hosting an aviation day or aviation task force meeting on 3/13 and 3/14. They will also be doing a tour of Mexicali, and I thought that might be something that you would like, you and I think Mr. Cardenas would like to join on. I think Ms. Walker can give you the particulars of the time frame and the dates. I mean, I've given you the dates, but also the time frame. If you wish to go, we would suggest you talk to Tomas, who would then put you on the list so that you can get out to NAF. SCAG's May meeting, and that is the one that we're all excited about because our own Cheryl Walker will become the president at their 50th anniversary, so we hope everybody is signing up to go to that. This will be quite an outstanding feat for the city of El Centro to have a member that's president of the Metropolitan Planning Organization, as the largest in the United States. We also did some work with SAFE. SAFE falls under the umbrella of ICTC. We will be replacing the call boxes along Highway 86 to the tune of about $70,000. Those call boxes are, someone can run into them, they can catch on fire if there's an accident, and the funds from this, the funding source to meet the needs of replacing these call boxes come from some of our VLF, vehicle license fee. We add an extra $1 to that. I also want to say that I went to, our assembly member sponsored an event on driver's license. I saw Mr. Silva there, and I think Mr. Silva, I will leave that for you to speak about since you were there and I was there.
I think it's about time he got his driver's
Yeah.
license.
They're sponsoring this so that individuals will know, these are predominantly focused on the Latino population so that they would be able to get their driver's license. I brought back the brochure thinking that this might be something some would want to look at. I also brought back brochures. During our area agency on aging, they talked about conservatorship and guardianship, elder law and advocacy, and Medicare and related health care counseling, are better known as ICAP. I know that Mr. Cardenas, conservatorship and guardianship, so I thought you might
Great.
appreciate these
I
particular.
appreciate that.
Yes, and so those are being passed on to you. With that, Mr. Mayor, I have completed my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. I also have a lot of things to report. I attended both the Mardi Gras celebration for the hospital as well as the parade. The parade, again, it was so well done. We cannot be prouder of our city staff and putting together these events that the community really enjoys. If you saw me, I went all out along with my wife and also Councilmember Jackson and our outfits that we kept getting a request from people to take our pictures.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it wasn't me that they wanted the picture with, it was my wife that they wanted the picture with. But that was, again, I don't know how many people were there, but it just thousands of people that were there. So another event very well done by our city staff. I also attended the City of Imperial's State of the City address. And as you know, they go all out and they have a theme and they really play out the theme. And this year the theme was some kind of Western theme, and it was just fun. They have a lot of fun with their State of the City address. I also attended the State of the City address for the city of Brawley, and that one started at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure whose idea that is to start their State of the City at 7 in the morning, but Mayor Nava did an outstanding job in presenting their State of the City for Brawley. I attended the Chamber Mixer, as well as the event by our Assembly Member Garcia, and providing information for people that may now qualify for driver's license given the change in the state law and the ability for people to apply for their driver's license. So very useful information. Mr. Duran, along with our Director of Economic Development, Marcela Piedra, did our monthly business visitation, and we visited 2 businesses in El Centro. And the purpose of the visit is to find out, get a feel for the climate of business and what can the city be doing better to promote growth and promote development and expansion. And we went to the mall and spoke to Alicia Swain, the mall manager. I think the news was good and that sales are consistent. They're obviously, we're hoping we're better, but at least they're not in a decline. And so again, the economy seems to be doing better, and our mall is doing well. We also visited with, and Mr. Duran, remind me of the name of the company right behind us.
Warnick, right over
They're a lending company that lends money for primarily mortgage.
Right on the corner.
Yes,
Yeah,
mortgage.
Work
involved. Yeah, and the news was good there as well, is that they're having some of their best quarters in El Centro in terms of lending for homeowners, and the prospect for the future for them looks pretty bright. Beautiful offices. I did not realize that our building behind us has such beautiful facilities, so that was very good to hear. Obviously, we asked them what their concerns are in terms, we are still not seeing a lot of housing development in El Centro. If you look at the communities in Brawley and in Peoria, you see a lot more housing activity going on out there, and they have some ideas as to what's getting in the way, and school fees are a major cost that they're not able to absorb, and consequently, developers are choosing to go to other communities where the expense of development is less. So Mr. Duran and I are planning to have a meeting with the superintendents of the 3 school districts and see if there's an opportunity to work with the schools and look at the impediments that are keeping housing from being built in the city of El Centro. This Saturday, for those of you that might be interested, our newly elected state controller, Betty Yee, will be in town. She actually will be at IBC, welcoming volunteers that are dedicating their time and specifically their day to do income tax preparations for people that qualify for that service. And they're going to spend the entire day at IBC. They expect about 70 people to go, and our Controller Yee will be there to thank them. And I've been asked, as the mayor of El Centro, to give her a welcome on behalf of the city of El Centro, so I'll be happy to do that as well. Mr. Duran and I met with staff last week, and we kind of talked about the 3 initiatives that I mentioned at the city address, one of which has to do with the relationship with Mexicali. So we're going to do a business improvement roundtable discussion in which the city is going to see what can we do to improve business and what can we do within our business practices to make them better, to be able to promote growth and development in the city of El Centro. So in just establishing that format, I'm going to come back to you in 2 weeks and ask each council member to appoint 1 member to serve on this work group that will be looking at, again, business initiatives to make sure that we are not getting in the way of business and make sure that our processes are such that it facilitates business development in the city of El Centro. The El Centro 2050 plan, I think, is beginning to look really good in terms of the planning that we have in place to come up with a long-term strategy for El Centro and what should El Centro look like in the year 2050. And for that project as well, I'll be asking the council to appoint 2 members to serve on this task force that will look at El Centro 2050. We're also including the chambers, we're also including certain developers, and we're hoping to make this not too large, so that it becomes, unmanageable, large enough, however, to bring ideas and energy into this committee or work group. The committee, just FYI, is not going to work on a quorum setup. People will be invited to attend, and if they cannot attend, they'll miss the meetings. Because with so many people, if we begin to think about majorities and quorums, it's just nothing ever will get done. So if you have people that we'll give you the dates well in advance, so that the people that you recommend to serve in this committee, that that they will have the time to attend and participate in this endeavor. That's the end of my report.
The date of the Imagine Award, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Sanders. Imagine Awards are scheduled for
26.
March 26. Yes. And I might be able to attend. I think my circumstances may have changed again, Mr. Jackson. Okay. So I don't know about that. It's a moving target for me. Any additional comments from the council? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Can we just pray over you guys before we leave?
Prayer is
Please.
always in order.
All right, thank you. I just feel that we need to do that. Again, I want to express my appreciation to all of you. And I know some of it was uncomfortable, but again, I appreciate your service to this community. And I know all of us here would say the same thing. And I just want you to know that we love you, and it's with the love of Christ. Lord, we thank you for all the things that were said tonight. As we leave here this evening, Lord, I want to pray, all of us want to pray over our leaders, for you command it in the scriptures. In 2 Timothy chapter 2, we're supposed to pray for kings and all those in authority. And so, Lord, too often people complain about leadership and not pray for leadership. Tonight we want to pray over our city council. We pray that they would weigh everything that was said. Yes. And Lord, that they would, your spirit would just move in their hearts and lead them in voting consciously for life, Lord. Whatever they may be able to do, I pray, God, that they would exercise the power that you've given them. Thank you once again, Lord. I pray your protection over them and their families. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Good to see you. That's a long time no see. How's everything? You're not. Why not?
Working at Centro, right here at Centro. Southwest.
Okay. Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
Go to the consent. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Go to the consent.
What?
And then we'll go.
It's Wallace.